I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. My registered investment advisory firms, I started in 1995, one of the first 100% Black-owned registered investment advisory firms on the planet. So thank you for making it possible to say that we are approaching very quickly, God willing, 25 years of service to Black investors. Your success makes my life. Indeed. And I'm committed to your financial success. I have some key thoughts that I want to share with you. Indeed. I'm sorry. What'd you say? Huh? Did I hit the what? Live. Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Look, she's talking to me, but she won't talk to me loud. That's my producer. Let's call her somebody important, right? That's our producer, screen director. Look, I should have gone like this, so I act like she's in my ear. What'd you say? Oh, okay. Go left. So, indeed. I was flowing, y'all, wasn't I? That's all right. That's God. He is always keeping us humble. Indeed. But I'm thankful that I'm not in here alone. I have spent many years, and you all know it, alone. So to have a member of the AfroEconomics team with me at night while we're working on this is a double blessing, because y'all know it's been a long time coming, because I work 24/7. so I want to kill everybody at the daytime. So we had to add on night shift. So that's a blessing. It's a blessing. And right here in America, for all those companies that say that they have to go out of the country to get help at night, no, there are people in America that need jobs at night as well. Ooh, my political statement for the day. So I want us to make sure that it is never too late for you to do what you may feel as catch up or begin to save more. Because I just believe that life is just a process. Like, life is just not, something that, nobody, I don't know anyone, even if you look at if you got a close up look at everybody who you admire and you think they're the most financially successful person in the world, they will tell you of points in their life where they felt that they weren't where they wanted to be financially. But I do believe that everybody that is financially successful had to make a decision, a conscious decision, to make that possible. Even me as an entrepreneur and a financial advisor, I've had to make a lifetime commitment to make sure that I be the walking and living example of what I talk about. Because it's easy. I remember a time of thinking that just because someone would let me borrow it, that it was my place to take it out, to borrow it. Well, I thought it was the most fascinating thing, that people would just give you money. And then all you'd have to do is pay back in these little teeny payments. But it is the most ridiculous and dream killing thing that you can have. That it actually, your debts can be the thing that slows you down from being able to invest and save as much as you want. But we always think that it's because you don't make enough money. But often, most of the time, it's because you're spending too much money. Because you see the stories of people who made a lot less than you, but have a lot more money than you do, especially upon their death. And you go, how in the world did they save all of that money? And that's all they made. But it's not how much you make, it's what you do with it. So indeed, I want to start with this thought, that I want you to develop your own definition of what financial success is. Because it's easy for us to actually say, well, I'm not financially successful because this person over here you think has more money than you, or they have a bigger car, or they have a nicer car, a newer car, or a bigger house, or, or more degrees, or whatever, and you see them as more financially successful than you are, or they're the supervisor and you're the employee, or they own their own businesses or own their own business, and you see them that way. But you have to have the personal strength and commitment to your own internal, as what I call authentic financial empowerment. I have a podcast that I'm going to post soon called Authentic Financial Power. It's real. I don't know if you all, those of you who got to watch, I recorded it on Saturday, but Sunday, it was Sunday, on Sunday, and we had a good time. Thank you. But you have to develop your own authentic power, your own definition of financial success. My first point. And then also forgive yourself. And you're like, whoa, what does that have to do with me catching up on my investing and saving? Well, because I hear people talk about themselves all the time, unfortunately. They go, I've been thinking about joining all the time, but I really am not comfortable. I just got to tell you the truth, JB. I'm not comfortable with how bad my stuff is, and it makes me speechless because, they have to be honest with themselves. They have to forgive themselves for what, and who cares what anybody else thinks about it, especially when you start making a commitment that I'm making these things better for myself, right? So forgive yourself, have self-financial awareness, and control how you live. You can control how you live. And we all do. I mean, if you have too much debt, or if you're not saving enough, it's because you are not, controlling how you live. And then you'll go out of your way to try to blame it on someone else. Well, I wouldn't have all this debt if my wife hadn't done this, or I wouldn't have all this debt if I didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? So don't blame it on anyone else. Forgive yourself. As Pastor Bozeman said, let yourself, let yourself off the hook, because you were doing the best you could at that particular time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And if anybody says that they don't understand, or they can't relate to that situation, or, they've always been perfect, they've never made any mistake. I mean, I personally find people like that, they don't empower me. I love to hear your success story. I love to see your success story. And it all starts with you forgiving yourself for what you feel is not quite right about your finances, and congratulating yourself for actually taking these steps, taking time out for this webinar to actually make a difference. And then be careful with expenses and fees that can rob you in your investment returns. Especially our community has been robbed from almost every financial product out there because of the fees or lack of understanding. Or it's just amazing to me, the key question that I learned today. I learned today because one member brought in a life insurance policy for me, and she said, I want you to review this policy for me. So it took me a while because, the policies are thick. But so we had a couple meetings, and I kept reviewing some before each meeting and reviewing some. And then finally, today around our third meeting, I had actually analyzed it, and I said, oh, this is great, policy, because it will do blah, 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 and blah for you. And, the member said, but that's not what I needed. That's not what I needed. And I said, that is amazing, because I learned what I know. But just hearing her say that, I was telling her why it was great, but my first question should have been, what did you get this for? Why did you buy this? Because because of the things that were great about the policy were not the things that she actually needed. And the things that she actually needed were the things that she had before the person robbed her and put her in this situation with less coverage and higher fees if she was not trying to get what this policy offers. She had what she needed, but I didn't meet her until after all of that had transpired. I'm telling you all, it is dangerous. You've got to make sure that people are on the same track as you, that they are understanding your goals, because that was obvious to me that, and I've seen this too many times. I know some others of you that are out there listening know that you have come to me with situations where I have discovered what you are overpaying for something, not getting what you thought that you were buying for, spending way too much money and not getting. So we definitely, what is costing her multiple hundreds of dollars is going to go down to about a third of that, just to make sure she gets what she actually wanted. And the sad part is we can't get back to where she was. That's what she needed. But she does need, because someone else came in, you got to be careful who you put in your head. You got to be careful about who you're talking to, because see, as an investment advisor, it is my responsibility to do what is in your best interest. In your membership agreement, it talks about, like, I'm there to just advise you on what you have and to help you maximize what you have and analyze these things. And then sometimes I meet people and they go, well, I want to do this and this and this. And then I tell them, well, what we need to do is go over what you have first. Stop, because we just keep buying things and buying things and buying things. So I would argue that most of you who feel like you haven't saved and invested enough, it's not that you haven't spent enough, it's what you put it in. Just think about the fact that if you are putting money away, and this research shows that women typically put money away, but their investment returns are a fraction of what the men are getting. So the men are saving less than the women, and the women are not having as much money as they do over time, purely because of lack of understanding. It says our people shall perish to the lack of knowledge. We've got to get our knowledge up. That's my job, to increase your knowledge. That's it. And to make sure that I know what you want. I got to get the knowledge from you first, so I can spit knowledge at you. But if it's half of it may be relevant to you, maybe none of it is relevant to you. So you can't change your life based on what I'm saying to a broad audience. That's the advantage of the individual meetings for membership. So then, look, oh my gosh, excuse me. I started screaming. Y'all let me scream. Got me all emotional. So let's be careful of expenses and fees. They rob you of returns. Look at my Yeti cup. Get that hydration. Woo, that was good. That was a good run though. Got me emotional talking about that lady getting robbed. Upsets me. So that point was to be careful with expenses and fees and be conscious of that, how they can rob you of the returns that you need in order to reach your financial goals. And then set goals. Set goals. Know what you want to do. As I said, I had to ask. Like, I didn't ask her, I just said, oh, this is good. This is fine. But I didn't ask her, like, what was your goal for this? What do you want it for? Because, I just thought you must want this thing because this is what you want, but not necessarily true. So then, where are you going to live? Where are you going to live? Why is that relevant to, do you need to catch up or not, or not? It's because the location of where you live now and where you're going to live later on the money that you are saving for your future, well, where do you want that to be? Where do you want to live? Location, location, location. So if you want to live, like, I think all the time, I'm like, I want to live as I get older in a more expensive area. just because that's where I want to be. I want to be in an urban area. I don't want to do like most seniors will do. And they will probably be like, well, my planning for my retirement is to go somewhere else, like down south. I'm from down south. So that's cool. That's where I want to visit. But where do I want to live? I want to live somewhere with a bus line, a subway, a metro, a shuttle. I want where people can come right up to my door. I want to get in a position where I have a driver coming right up to my door, taking me right to my office, and I don't have to worry about all of that commuting. If I want to go into New York, I want to just be able to get on the train and get in there. I want to be in DC. That's so I have to make sure that I realize that. If you want to be in DC, but if you want to be down where I was born, where it costs a fraction of what it costs to live in DC, then the money that you have to have accumulated is going to be totally different. How you doing? It's so good to see all of you. So know your location before you say, oh, well, I haven't done enough of my financial situation. And then consider working longer. I look forward to working as long as God allows me to work. I don't believe in retirement, but I know that everybody else, I really can't find anybody else that doesn't believe in retirement. When I find that person, we're going to live together happily ever after and work. We're going to work. We're going to work. We're going to be married. We can get married later on. We won't even have to worry about that. We'll just be busy working. We'll get married at work. No, but indeed, I don't think about it. But if you actually should consider, if you feel like you haven't saved enough, you want to have a particular amount of money to use when you say that you don't want to work at all. You just want to live off this lump sum of money, or you want to create your own pension, which we can do. We can create your own guaranteed income. We can do all of these things. If you want to get to a particular amount after we do the financial plan, that's the first thing we do in membership, is get you into the financial planning portal, putting in your goals, what you need, this and that, what you got, and what we need to do. And then we find out, the computer allows me to change, like, well, you can't based on this, if you just save this and get this return, then you really can't retire successfully at this age. But if we just shift it to this age, it gives me different scenarios of it's like you might have $5. So if you have $5 and you want to retire in 10 years, and it might say, well, that $5 growing at this particular rate of return, you can't do that and actually make $1,000 a month off of it. But if you actually retire at 210 years old, then you can get that $1,000 a month. I'm exaggerating, but some people have to get by us doing the financial planning. It helps you get to the realization that maybe you do need to save more. Maybe you do need to work longer. You need to think about that. So also, how do you help yourself with your saving and investing? Protect your health. Yes, indeed, the 10th principle of AfroEconomics, protect your health so that you can work longer. Even like some people, because of a disability, aren't able to even work to 65 years old or 62 years old. So if you have to stop work at 50 years old, but due to a disability, it can slow down your ability to just tuck away money for your 70s and 80s. So it can take away a couple of decades of saving due to an illness. So protect yourself, keep your stress low. I believe that the key to keeping your stress low is avoiding the unnecessary debts. You can retire tomorrow, right? If you didn't owe anybody anything. So be conscious of that. Be conscious of your debts are a real attack on your ability to just live off your savings and investments, and focus on it. I believe that we have to focus on anything that you truly want to be, that you want to have as a part of your life. If you want financial independence, self-reliance, the second principle of AfroEconomics, to be a key part of your financial life, you're going to have to do what you got to do and focus on that every little move that you make does impact your ability to save. There are certain things that you can sacrifice in purchasing that can make a huge impact on your life. You do a $1,200 car payment and or a $600 car payment. If you do a $1,200 car payment and it stops you from being able to save $600 a month, that can make a big difference in your lifestyle. What about if you get a $600 car payment and you save $600 every month? Think about the difference that it makes. And then you're actually making money on that $600, because you want to get financial help on making sure that you're making wise investment choices. Join AfroEconomics. Let me assist you. I would love to. But if you don't, find someone that you trust and get them to help you along the way of making some smart, cool financial moves at any age. And especially if you feel that you want to retire in the next 10, 20 years and you don't think you have enough, you might have enough. There's a lot of people who don't know they have enough. We sit down together, we start calling old jobs, finding money, getting recalculations done. I found people who I could look at the offer from the corporation and see that the numbers are off, and actually send it back to major corporations and find 100,000 plus errors on their offers for lump sums coming out of companies. So it does make a difference who you go to for help. Make sure that when you're getting financial help, that they're looking at you, that you feel that it's true, that you are a VIP to them. If you're going in there and they're making you feel like they're doing you a favor and that you're not insignificant to them because your account is not a particular size, then you need to seriously consider, or are they going to be able to look out for you over the long term? Make sure that they're on one accord with what's important for you, what your value system is, and are going in the same direction, and they get it, and they get you. I like to work with people that just understand me, understand my culture, and I can look at them and tell that they're not going to rob me. I was robbed so many times before I entered financial services, and I got in this business in my mid-20s. I mean, seriously, that didn't even give me but a few years out of school. I'm in graduate school and people lying to me about mutual fund fees. I mean, come on. But that is what forced me. I mean, I really didn't feel like I had a choice. I didn't even want to do this business. I just did not want to see people robbed. It made me sick. It just made me sick. I was like, I can't sit there. I'm just fussing at, this guy trying to sell us a life insurance policies. And I'm like, what in the world? I studied this stuff and he's just making up stuff like I don't know what he's talking about. So be conscious, be aware, be careful, have your own definition of financial success, forgive yourself, be honest, talk with someone about it. If you don't feel comfortable talking with this person about it, ask yourself why. Is it them or is it you? And then risk sharing. And I didn't mention this before, but risk sharing your story and get help. I kind of mentioned it about just people saying that I didn't want to talk to you about it because I felt like my situation was so jacked up. But I challenge you. I even have a membership called Reconstruction. That risk sharing your story and get help. Definitely. Oh, thank you, Dr. Hicks. Thank you. He said, thank you for sharing your story. I love sharing my story, as long as you use it to empower you. I guess it doesn't make any difference. If I use my story and you don't use my story to help you, I'm at a disadvantage. We have the First Lady Wells, and she said, the truth you are speaking is transformational and also very uncomfortable for me. And I believe this is a good thing. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Isn't that amazing? We have three. I have four. I have four ministers on the line right now, in this webinar right now that I know of. Wow. This is from the words of the only female minister we have participating tonight. I appreciate you, and I'm glad I tuned in, and I can identify with those who don't want to share their stories for real. You're definitely dealing with unforgiveness over here and grieving current financial status. That's right. That's right. Yes, indeed. And renewing our minds and make financial decisions where we walk in agreement. Wow. Well, I can't. I'm gonna get that sister before it's all over. We're gonna do, I want to do, and with our other ministers that are involved, we're gonna start doing some get down financial empowerment and focus on that fifth principle of AfroEconomics, the soul of your money. I'm gonna do on Sunday mornings or something. I'm gonna get all four of y'all on here. That would be good. And I'm just gonna be able to just say, just bless me and help us. You can help us through your powerful words of encouragement, and just let us know. Keep the faith, y'all, right? Keep the faith. Indeed. God is indeed good, Dr. Hicks. Yes, indeed. Yes. Well, I hope you can hear us, Mr. Cheatham. Mr. Cheatham is very far from being a minister, but we appreciate you. Because you were the first to log in, and you are a good person. Yes, indeed. Well, I thank you. And you are the only person that I have known since I was about 16 years old that is participating tonight. See, you are important. You matter too. High school, shout out to high school. I'm not going to tell you what year. It wasn't that long ago. But thank you. Thank you, Ms. Dickens. Glad to see you back. You all make the best life. I was talking to these clients yesterday, and he said, I don't know if he's participating tonight, but he said retirement is the best thing since recess. Now I'm gonna close on that, right? So I want you to look. So if you don't feel like you caught up, you want to catch up, you want to do some recess. If you want to be like him, then definitely, you got to start saving. You got to keep it real with me. We got to do this thing, because I would be the last to judge. It's funny because I always say, and I heard it from someone, and I believe it. They said we teach what we want to learn, which is true. I spent all of my young years like working hard, working at McDonald's, and all of that, throwing newspapers and doing all this stuff, because my family was just not the type that just gave out money. Like, if I wanted some clothes for school, I had to get clothes. And then I guess they were considered, definitely considered Black upper middle class. We have the Black upper middle class, and then we have upper middle class statistically. So we have our own. But they were not giving it out. And so that I think that because of my decision to make sure that I was financially independent at such an early age, I relate to the struggle. So I know that everything that we go through is for a reason. My father had a very, very hard life. He had to make it on his own. So he just decided that you can make it on your own too. And from that commitment to that, I don't have an ability to be judgmental to anybody. I was walking in the convenience store tonight, and this brother was standing there, and then I came back out and he was still standing there, and I was like, "Do you need something, brother?" And he said, "Yeah, I need some gas." And I said, "I think you need to speak up." And I think that applies for all of us. If you got something that you need, and something, and you can't just stand there and think that somebody's going to, and then I handed him, unfortunately, I had just gotten some change for a 20. I gave him a $5 bill. And then he said, "You know what, sister, you're right." But that $5 bill was exactly what he needed, because he got in his truck, drove over there at the tank, and it was probably, enough to get him wherever it was he was going. but it helped out with whatever. But I was like, you in the wrong end of town, or you think that they're just going to walk over to you. It's just not. Because he was, but he didn't know. I guess he didn't want to get kicked out. But I just thank God for being able to help him. But the lesson there is that never be ashamed of your situation. I don't feel like I was telling them. I was like, you can't, feeling stupid does not feed us. We've got to do whatever frightens you, face up to it so that we can correct it. Be empowered, and I'm here to help. And if anybody, ever judges you, it's their loss. It's their loss, because I always say, if anybody don't know about how hard it is out there for some of us, they will. So the good news is that we're getting ours over it. We got it. Look, we can say. So, I've been through so many challenges in my life that I just feel like, I'm not afraid of it. When something painful comes up, I go, bring it. I got this. That's what makes us stronger. That's where our relationship with God gets better and better. He just keeps on blessing, carrying us on through. It's true, though. Y'all be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Be safe to all of us on the East Coast. I'll see you Sunday night. If you have any specific questions on never giving up and catching up on your savings and investing, and you want to get specific into where to put money and all those things, we can do that. I'm here for you. JB at AfroEconomics.com. Thanks. Participation was wonderful tonight. I appreciate you all. Any positive feedback will be appreciated. Look, did you hear that? Only positive. Look, only positive. No, but please don't hesitate. Email me anytime. JB at AfroEconomics.com. Don't forget the AfroEconomics Business Summit. If anybody, all the members are absolutely free in classroom. If anybody needs a pass, let me know. It's going to be simulcast online. So I am making this will be the first time I made it online available. And we're going straight 4 hours from 10 to 2. Take care. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. You my girl. You my new bestie. Kathy, Rhonda, you got competition, Kathy. I'm waving back at you, Rhonda. Oh, you, me, and Kathy, we all got to get together to see which one of y'all can be the nicest to me. Hey, God bless you. Yeah, thank you. I'll talk to you all soon. Stay positive. Keep laughing. Kathy, you know what? Yep, Kathy said my bestie. Yes, you are. You're my best bestie. 1. And Rhonda's my best bestie. 1-1. God bless. Bye-bye now.